Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. My name is Nicholas Mah-hi-vist Sr., and I'm the father of 13-year-old Nicholas Naquan Haywood Jr., who was murdered September 27th, 1994, playing with a group of friends of his. They were all playing an innocent game of cops and robbers. They were playing with plastic, colorful-looking toy guns. When Nicholas Jr. seen the officer, he dropped the plastic toy gun and said, we're only playing. The officer, who was a rookie housing cop working in PSA 1 Brooklyn, shot and killed Nicholas, regardless of Nicholas's pleas that we're only playing. For the last 20 years I've been out here demanding justice and to have this case reopened. Nicholas had a whole life in front of him, which was denied to him because a coward NYPD housing cop took his life, regardless of the fact that Nicholas dropped his plastic toy gun. And we gotta understand that plastic toy gun that these children had did not look real at all. When District Attorney Charles Hines closed the case without bringing the case to the grand jury, he had a table full of real-looking toy guns opposed to showing the public the plastic toy guns that the children were playing with. He covered the case up from the very beginning, and Charles Hines should be brought to court, and he needs to be prosecuted for covering up not only the case of Nicholas Jr., but the many other cases in Brooklyn, New York.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stanley-Jones. I'm the grandmother of 7-year-old Ayanna Stanley-Jones, who was murdered May 16, 2010 by Detroit police officer Joseph Weekly. He went through 2 trials and he got off. He got away with killing my granddaughter, or so he thinks. Ayanna, at the time of her murder, was 7 years old. She was the only daughter of my son, Charles Jones, and Dominica Stanley. She has 1 older brother and 5 little brothers, but she was a tomboy. Ayanna was into Hannah Montana and yeah, she was a girly girl, but she was tough as well. One of the last things Ayanna said to me was, I just can't wait till I turn 8, Grandma. All I'm waiting for is my birthday. Her birthday is July 20th. And that night, as we were laying down to go to sleep, she rubbed my face and she said, you're so beautiful, Grandma. I love you so much. That was one of the last words that my grandbaby said to me. Ayanna today is now 13 years old. And I can picture Ayanna as a 13-year-old because we still celebrate her birthday every year. You know, so people ask, oh, she's 7. No, she's 13. Like I said, we still celebrate her birthday every year, so she's a 13-year-old. And I can imagine Ayanna as a 13-year-old because I can't keep on imagining, well, picturing her murder because I watched every second of it. As soon as Joseph Weekly entered my home, he automatically shot Ayanna in the top of her head. I was laying on the floor spread eagle. He accused me of grabbing his gun. The chief of police, they hadn't even started an investigation yet, and he accused me of grabbing this cop's gun. Joseph Weekly is a part, or was a part of Detroit SWAT. I don't know if they took it down, but it used to be on YouTube. And he's called the brain because he's the first one in. He said the flashbang disoriented him. He's lying. Because I done seen them, they show the shows where, you know, they train for that stuff. He said, they said my story changed. Joseph Weekly told about 4 different stories. I grabbed his gun. He thought Ayanna was a dog. He thought she was a pile of dirty clothes. And like I tell everybody, contrary to what people believe, all black people don't have clothes on their couch, whether they dirty or clean. And why the hell would you shoot a pile of dirty clothes?
That's right.
And if I had to grab this officer's gun, it was anywhere from 8 to 12 other cops behind him, I wouldn't be here to tell Ayana's story of her murder. Because I never say she died, because she didn't. But I laid on that floor and watched the light and life leave out of my grandbaby's eyes. I can't do this. Okay. I'm sorry. But, like I said, Ayana, she was just a girly girl. She loved her grandma. I had that baby from the day after she was born up until the day she was murdered. Because the day after she was born, July 21st, I have a son whose birthday is the day after Ayana's. We were on the way to get him a birthday cake. And her other grandmother pulled up in a car and blocked my van from leaving the driveway. And she jumped out the car with this bundle. And she came to my side and she said, "Who the grandmother?" And I said, "I guess that would be me." She put her in my arms and I pulled the blanket back, and that's the first time I ever fell in love at first sight. And so, like I said, I had Ayana from the time she was born, basically, up until the time she was murdered. And even though I didn't give birth to her, it hurt.
Hi everybody, my name is Joshua Lopez. I'm the nephew of John Collado, and I'm here joined by other family members who has gone through the same pain of losing a family member in the hands of law enforcement. My uncle, John Collado, was killed 4 years ago. He got murdered by an NYPD undercover officer by the name of James Connolly. And my uncle was just breaking up a fight. He heard the cries of somebody screaming for help. And there was an individual that he knew, and he was involved in a fight with an undercover police officer who never identified himself. And that police officer had murdered somebody 2 years prior. So if they would have took action for him murdering somebody 2 years before my uncle, he would have never got the chance to murder my uncle. And I'm here to say we got to continue to put pressure on these politicians and these lawmakers, because with pressure even pipes burst. So let's not give up, and let's rise up October.
I'm Maria Hamilton from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My son is Dontre Hamilton, and he still lives through me. His life was taken by a Milwaukee police officer in 2013 on the 30th. Dontre merely was only resting in a park, and he was profiled by a manager, and his life was taken for being black. Dontre was shot 14 times. He was beaten 8 times with the baton. No family should feel the pain that me and my family are enduring right now. This system must be torn down and rebuilt. Rise up October. Rise up October. We won't stop until we get justice.
I'm Dontre's brother, and I just want to say, an injustice to you is an injustice to me. An injustice to you should be injustice to me. So we have to not allow this system. It's about shutting it down. I'm all about shutting it down. This system don't work. It never did work, and it needs to be dismantled. It needs to be destroyed. Those cops over there, all they are is a game.
That's right.
They are a gang that protect each other, that serve one another. Don't serve a community. Don't serve the law-abiding citizens. They are not responsible with their weapons. They're not respectful of the communities which they police in. But we pay them, and we still sit around and we allow them to do what they do. We have to take charge, we have to take force, and we have to rise up. It's about saying that, hey, we won't take no more. I will shut down City Hall, I will shut down any first district, I will shut down anything that I possibly can to get our point across as a people. We have to be a force. The people have the power.
The people have the power.
Who has the power?
The people have the power.
Who has the power?
The people have the power.
Thank you.
Ihani washte, Simon Machiapolo Nama Lakota, Le Yuhau Ihipi washte. Mah-hi-vist Good Blanket was only 18 when in Custer County, a county named for a known Indian killer, was killed, shot 7 times, once in the back of the head, and now his mom and his brother don't have him anymore. He stood 6'8", he was a big Indian. And he was known for his warm hug. You felt safety in his hug. And those 2 cops took him away. 125 years ago was the Wounded Knee Massacre. 20 of the U.S. troops who were involved in that carnage received the Medal of Honor. Those medals have not been rescinded. The 2 cops that killed Mah-hi-vist Good Blanket received medals of valor. More than 125 years after the massacre of 300 of my people, 200 unarmed women and children by the United States, they are still giving medals for killing Indians. More than 520 years of oppression because of the color of our skin and because we are not them. We must remember that you stand on a land where a genocide committed and is continuing today. But we need to remember the human in him. He was a good guy. He was warm, he was loving. He was precocious. And now he's gone. And they're celebrating with their medals. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cindy Mitchell, but that doesn't matter. My brother, Mario Romero, he was murdered by Vallejo police on September 2nd, 2012. He was sitting in front of his house when he was attacked by 2 gangbangers who shined a bright light in his eye and began shooting. They shot and they shot and they shot, and at some point they said, "Raise your hands." At one point, an officer jumped on the hood of his car and continued to unload his weapon. They shot at my brother 40 times. They shot him 30 times. They shot him 8 times through the palms of his hands. They cut his body from the seatbelt, and they placed his corpse under arrest. Then they stole his body from the scene of the crime. Then they planted a police-issued training weapon inside of his car. Then they created a story that said that they were investigating a burglary which had happened 19 hours ago, which was untrue. And the only people that they seen were my brother and my brother-in-law in the car, and they just wanted to make contact because they seen them. Not because they were committed in crime, not because they looked suspicious. They stopped them and they attacked because they could. My brother, after his body was stolen from the crime scene. It was hidden for 30 days. My brother wasn't buried until 40 days after he was murdered by Vallejo police officer Sean Kinney and Dustin Joseph. Sean Kinney killed 3 people in 2012 within a 5-month period. And to reward the families that he completely devastated, he was promoted to detective. Like I said, my name doesn't matter because on September 2nd, 2012, when my brother was murdered, I became my brother's voice. I am his sister. He was the first person that I was ever responsible for. He was loving. He was caring. He wanted to live. He loved life. He loved life so much that he took so many pictures that although he's been gone for 3 years, I'm still seeing new pictures that I haven't seen. I am my brother's keeper. He was murdered. How many more? How many more people have to die? And how many police are going to be drug tested after they murder? Because they are not. They're not drug tested or psychologically evaluated anymore after being hired. Educate yourselves. Police are just like any one of us. They can have addictions, they can have mental problems. Why are we allowing them to not be drug tested and not be psychologically evaluated mandatorily? My name is Cindy Mitchell. My brother is Mario Romero, and I am my brother's keeper. Thank you.
I'm kind of nervous. My name is Jessica Gatewood, mother of Richard Lamar Lanyard Jr. My son Richard was very outgoing, very loving, loved by many people. He loved his family. He was very talented. He was an upcoming rap star, him and his brother. Today I am so devastated. I am so hurt. Every day I think of Richard. Richard was my everything. Richard was my soulmate, even though he was my son. Richard was my baby, even though he was grown. Richard, I miss him so much every day. He's the last person I think about before I go to bed at night, and he's the first person I think about in the morning. Richard was murdered by the Oakland Police Department on July 19th, 2015, a little over 3 months ago. I'm still in grief. I'm still mourning. I still miss him every day of my life. I will never stop thinking about Richard Lanyard. I will never stop thinking about Richard Lanyard. So what we have to do is rise up. Everybody rise up, because this police murder has to stop. All over the world, it must stop. Rise up, October. I love you guys.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
My name is Miko Williams. I'm here for Rico Williams. We're from the Charlotte area. My son was killed July 20th, 2011. He was tasered by one of the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. There was a lot of different stories we did here that were inaccurate during the trial, and a lot of different things. The police officer committed perjury. The jury was not allowed to know that the police officer committed perjury. The firefighters committed perjury. Also, this particular officer had other incidents where he's used his taser. Also, not listening to one of his commanding officers that told him to step down on a high-speed chase. So this particular police officer has had a lot of different incidents, and they still allow him to actually carry a badge. He's still on the police department as of now, still currently. Nothing has been done. My son had actually just turned 21. He had signed up for school to actually do computer engineering. So that's what he liked to do. He loved to play basketball. He loved to do a lot of different things, but he's not here today because his life was stolen. So, can y'all say his name? It's Rico Williams.
Hello. My son was was killed on April the 21st. He was unarmed. His name was Daniel Covarrubias. He was on his way home and he took a shortcut and that killed him. The police killed him. He was in Lakewood, Washington. When someone you love is killed, it forever changes you. You always have a sense of loss, some sleepless nights, sadness. But it is so much harder when someone you love is violently and senselessly killed, and I believe without remorse. It's even worse when they try to cover up their sin by trying to discredit, malign, and cast aspersions against the victims. Then if that wasn't enough of pain to inflict upon us, instead of having an independent, unbiased agency to do the investigation, they asked the wolves to make sure the wolves with blood dripping from their fangs behaved appropriately. There should always be an internal investigation and an outside independent agency involved, especially when their actions result in homicide of an unarmed person. I was broken and sad just like they wanted, but now I'm angry. I'm angry at the biased stories that have been printed in the papers, and I'm angry because I know the truth. My son Daniel did nothing wrong. What they did was wrong, and they know it. That's why they go out of their way to discredit the people they tried, and they tried to make them look like the bad guys. Was he simply getting in their way that day, or was it because they were having a bad day? They turned into deranged people and reacted by going into kill mode, and now my sweet Daniel is forever gone from this world. They didn't know him. They had no right to take a father from his kids and leave his baby girls brokenhearted. They were close with their dad and miss him so terribly much. The people that killed him didn't know him, nor did they even try. These are people you're killing. People with families who love them. And we are the people who know the truth, that what's happening here is wrong. I have been forever changed by this, and I will not tolerate another person dying unjustly. Killing is wrong. Every time I hear about another homicide by police, I'm sick. It sends me into reliving that nightmare all over again in the endless nights of tears that won't stop. The precious memories that Daniel left will not be added to. This must not be allowed. We must hold them accountable. This isn't about my son. I can't bring my son back. He will not be coming home. I will never again hear him say, "Ma, I love you, Ma." Not in this life. Now only in dreams that rip my heart apart, and others that wake me in the middle of the night screaming his name. People used to call the police when they had a problem. Now they cringe at the idea, especially if a loved one may be involved. What happened to protect and to serve? People don't trust them anymore. They went from our protectors to our persecutors. We must take a stand for righteousness. Daniel was a beautiful person. He did not deserve to die. He did nothing wrong. Take a stand. He should be here, and he would be here. I want to thank you for caring enough to come out here today, and God bless you all. The world needs more people like you. Raise your voices to make them hear us. We need compassion to make change. We need love for one another. Daniel used to quote the words of Jesus, "The most important of these is love." Thank you.
I just want to say something to these officers here. If you guys are the good ones, you should be up here. You should be outraged. You should be up here speaking against this. Where is your honor? You're supposed to serve and protect us. Do your job.
Hello. I'm the mother of Jonathan A.P. Farrell, who was gunned down in North Carolina seeking help. The very people that we teach our children to trust, the ones supposed to protect us, was killed Jonathan for no reason because he had an accident. He was a man that loved everyone. His favorite character was Winnie the Pooh. Jonathan was a designated driver in school, had a fiance, planning to have children 2014, but all that was taken away from him. It's not just us out here, the ones that here has been hurt, it's the nation has been hurt. We must stand up. We must stop this. We must let them know there will not be any more killing. We will not tolerate the people that's supposed to serve and protect us killing our children. We will not take this anymore. We stand up for what is right. We know there are good officers out there. My daughter is a sergeant, but my daughter knows that everybody that comes through her is a human being. Treat our people as people. We're not animals. We are not animals. Serve and protect. Do your job. Jonathan would be here today. I am a mother without my child. They worry about the cop without his child. He going away without his child. They can't convict him, but they can take my son and put him 6 feet under. How do you all think we're feeling? We must stop it. It must end now. And people, we cannot sit back and get comfortable and relax. Stand up and fight. We have rights.
Could everybody say my son's name? Angelo Miller. Okay, I am Alicia Kirkman from Cleveland, Ohio. I am so sick and tired of the police killing our kids, because when they kill our kids, they kill a part of us. We would never, ever in our life be the same. My son was 17 years old. Him and his friends did something that they were not supposed to do. But how many of us never did anything being a teenager that we were not supposed to do? So the police officer shot my son's car up 8 times. You heard my son on the 911 tape saying, "My hands are up, sir. I swear to God, I don't have nothing. I'm not doing nothing." How can they continue to kill our kids and try to pay us off? Why can't the police be put in jail for killing our kids? I am sick and tired. I am so happy that all of the mothers that we are getting together. This is the beginning of this, because they need to stop it. And I am so sick and tired. Every time I see a young person, I don't care the age of the person, every time I see that someone have got killed by the police, I would never ever in my life heal. It brings back nightmares. So we're going to continue to fight this battle, and today is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of it. Say the name, Angelo Miller.
Hi, I'm the mother. Hi, my name is Dion Smith Down. I'm from Stockton, California. Yeah. And my son's name was James Earl Rivera Jr. from Stockton, California, who was murdered by Stockton police and the sheriff. They shot at my son 48 times, 18 entered his body, and they used AR-15s in a community inside of a garage where they had knocked him into 2 mailboxes, knocking him in the garage. I've been out here for 5 years and I still have not received any justice. And I've been telling his story around. I've been traveling around the city and the country telling about what happened to James Rivera. I still have not got police reports, dash cam, nothing regarding my son's death. My city filed bankrupt and they still have not released anything from that. He was killed by Gregory Dunn. Excuse me. He was killed by Stockton police, Eric Azavine, Gregory Dunn, and the sheriff, John Nesbitt. And you know what? I want to let them know we're not going nowhere. We as family, we are the people. We are tired of being tired. You know, the change gonna start with us. What we gonna do? We gonna shut it down when we don't get what we supposed to get. We are tired. There's too many mothers and brothers and sisters that I've been out here 5 years seeing that's falling, that's being killed. You know what I'm saying? How do anybody understand how a mother feel? A sister feel? A brother feel? A father? Their life would never be the same. My son, when my son was murdered, my son was only 4 years old. Today, my son is 8 years old. He still misses his brother. My son used to pick his little sisters and brothers up from school on the bike. You know, holidays are coming. You're missing your loved one. Birthdays coming. You're missing your loved ones. That day they took him, that day come. You miss your loved one. So I tell people today, look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbor. He might be the next one to be shot down. We've been demonstrating and going all over the city fighting for justice, and this is what the people do. They just look. It's time to stop looking. It's time to change, and it's time to fight. It's time to fight. We as the people cannot sit there no more, because now it's all our issues. Look at all these families that you just seen came up here to talk. We from all over the globe. We fight for overstate. Look at here. Look at your neighbor's house. Look at your job. Somebody you know will be killed. What we gonna continue to do? What we gonna continue to do? Thank you.